Okay, is there anyone else joining Lauren that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of. I'll keep an eye on the wait list though.
Okay. All right, then I will call the meeting to order. Uh, Could I have a motion to I need a motion to convene. Greg and Karen, thank you. Okay. Um, Moved by Greg, seconded by Karen, that the Committee of Adjustment for the Corporation of the Township of Seguin hereby convenes at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, January 13th, 2021. All in favor? Thank you. That is carried. Okay. This is a meeting of the Committee of Adjustment as per the Planning Act. Applicants and the public can speak at the public meeting. Notices of decision will be sent to applicants and to the public if requested. Any person may appeal a decision or condition of approval within 20 days of the notice of decision. All right. I printed stuff two-sided, and so if I seem a little discombobulated, it's because I tried to save some paper.
I know what you mean.
Okay, could I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda as circulated? Stuart and Greg, thank you. That the Committee of Adjustment for the Corporation of the Township of Seguin hereby approves the agenda for January 13th, 2021. All in favor? Then that's carried. Thank you. Okay. Could I have a mover and seconder to accept the minutes of the last meeting as circulated? Karen and Greg, thank you. Moved by Karen, second by Greg, that the Committee of Adjustment for the Corporation of the Township of Seguin hereby accepts as read and circulated the minutes of the last meeting that took place on Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. Are there any comments, corrections, additions to those minutes? All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, could I ask if anyone has any pecuniary interest that they need to disclose? None disclosed? Okay, thank you. Then I will ask, what is your title, Steve? Are you the acting secretary treasurer?
No, well, I am appointed by bylaw as the second secretary treasurer. So yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Could I then ask you to introduce the first application?
Oh, thank you, Chair. The first application is minor variance application number A 2020-0034-H by the name Patterson at 177 Jean Maria Road. It is to construct an addition to their existing cottage, and they're requesting a variance for maximum lot coverage, maximum cottage shoreline width, maximum cottage floor area, and side yard setback. Correspondence was received in support of the application from Rob Kelly, Richard Stahl, and Shelley Hodgkinson. And you should have that correspondence sent to you by email earlier today.
Okay, is there anyone present that wishes to speak to this application? Hi, could you identify yourself, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Trina Clark, and I'm here from T-Square Design Studio. I'm the agent acting on behalf of the client today. We are located at 167 Medora Street, Port Carling, Ontario. As mentioned, the variances that are requested, the first one is maximum lot coverage for a variance of 3.3%, maximum cottage shoreline width of 1.2 meters, maximum cottage floor area of 7 square meters, and a side yard setback of 1.1 meters. Our clients, the Pattersons, wish to construct an addition onto their existing cottage. More specifically, they're proposing to add an office and deck addition. In doing so, they require the requested variances as the existing landscape is restricting. To the back of the cottage, there's a steep slope of rock, so without blasting, the land there is not feasible for the addition. The other side of the cottage is an existing driveway and entrance and is actually closer to the shoreline than the proposed location in front of you today. With relation to the shoreline, the proposed addition is moving away from the high water mark in comparison to the existing cottage, allowing the natural environment to continue to dominate overbuilt form on the property. The property is generally well treed and provides a visual and audible barrier from both the shoreline and the neighbors. And the proposed location is already cleared due to an oil spill that had occurred and has since been repaired as noted on the site plan. So very little vegetation will be required to be removed to accommodate the proposed addition. We agree with staff that this application is minor in nature, and the neighbors are in agreement as per their letters of support that were provided as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any members of the committee have any questions? None? Did we hear from the neighbor to the north? Would be,
Yes, that would be the Kellys.
okay, and they were in favor?
Yes.
Thank you.
That would be Rob Kelly's letter that was sent in. They live next door, as he said, at 167 Gina Maria Road, and they're in full support of the application.
Okay, thank you. All right, could I have a motion and seconder to approve this application? Stuart and Greg? Okay, moved by Stuart, seconded by Greg, that the Committee of Adjustment hereby approves variance application A 2020-0034H Patterson to construct an addition to the existing cottage, and due to the location of the existing cottage, they request the following variances to the zoning bylaw 2006-125. Section 6.3, table 6.3, maximum lot coverage. Required is 215.20 square meters. Proposed is 303 square meters. Section 4.17C, table 4.1, maximum cottage shoreline width. Required is 4.1 meters. Their proposal is 5.3 meters. Section 4.17C, table 4.1, maximum cottage floor area, 46 square meters. The proposal is 53 square meters. And section 6.3, table 6.2, side yard setback. Required is 5 meters. The proposal is 3.9 meters. Subject to the following conditions: that the existing topography and vegetation occurring between the cottage, the said addition, and the shoreline be protected to the satisfaction of the Township of Seguin, according with bylaws 2008-103, 2008-104, and 2008-105. And that the owner apply for and obtain a building permit within 2 years of the date of decision of the Committee of Adjustment. Are there any further questions, comments? All in favor? And that is carried.
Yep, thank you, Chair. The decision is to approve, and notice will be following shortly by mail. Thank you, Trina.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, can I ask the Secretary Treasurer to introduce the next application?
Yes, thank you. The next application is file number A 2020-0035-F. Sovereign is the name, and the address is 12 First Lane. And it is to replace an existing boathouse, which requires a variance to maximum lot coverage. And no correspondence was received on this file.
Is there anyone that wishes to speak to this application? No?
Tom Sovereign, I could do my best to answer any questions.
Okay, and who is speaking? Sorry.
Tom Sovereign, the owner.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are there any members of committee who have any questions? I just see shaking heads. Okay, could I have a mover and seconder for this motion, please? Greg, Karen? Moved by Greg, seconded by Karen. The Committee of Adjustment hereby approves variance application A 2020-0035F, Sovereign, to replace the existing boathouse and request the following variances to zoning bylaw 2006-125. Section 6.3, table 6.3, maximum lot coverage. Required is 7.25%, proposed is 11.5%. Subject to the following conditions: that the existing topography and vegetation occurring between the cottage, the boathouse, and the shoreline be protected to the satisfaction of the township according to the bylaws 2008-103, 2008-104, 2008-105. And that the owner apply for and obtain a building permit within 2 years of the date of decision of the Committee of Adjustment. Are there any questions, comments? All in favor? And that is carried.
Thank you, committee. The application was approved and the notice will follow in the mail shortly. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Okay, I'll ask the Secretary Treasurer to introduce the last application.
Yeah, thank you. Application number A-2020-0036-H McDonald is the name on the file. Yeah, the address is 119 Winterberry Lane. It's to construct a new dock that requires a variance as well as boathouse projection from the shore in order to address shallow water conditions and a maximum dock length. Thank you.
Is there anyone here who wishes to speak to this application?
Oh, before we get into that, I should note that there was correspondence received by Rob Bakemeyer asking for additional information, which was sent to him and all those on the CC list, and as well as Diane Piquette offered some comments, and her comments were that the boathouse is 205 feet wide, and the lot has 300 feet of shoreline, as well as it will be 24 feet further from the shore than the other docks. It will massively cover the little bay and negatively affect the shoreline around our properties. Thank you.
Okay, can you identify yourself and let us know who you are, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to first thank you for taking the time to review our application. My name is Mike Archambault of Tamarack North. I'm one of the agents representing the clients, Stephen and Karen McDonald, today. Our office is just out of Port Carling. So I guess quickly to respond to the one comment that you received, the dock itself is not 205 feet wide, it's 62 feet wide, and the boathouse itself is 34 feet wide. So both the dock width and the building width does comply or will comply with the bylaw. So when trying to lay out the dock on site, we discovered that the water depth was too shallow to accommodate safe boat access. And we do feel that it's best for us to position the boathouse towards the east side of the property. As previously indicated, there's a natural bay on this property, which will help lessen the visual impact of the variance. The required projection is 15 meters. We're asking to increase it to 22.2. This property, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to go out there. It's quite unique in that From the shoreline, you can't see any of the neighboring boathouses from the shoreline. Like, it feels like you're the only one on the lake. It's quite a beautiful spot. A pre-consultation phone call was completed with Steve Stone. The variance was deemed minor in nature, and we were told that the town would support our application with no objection. And then we did receive a letter from one of the neighbors, Mr. Rosenberg. It was just recent. We just got it yesterday, so we forwarded that off to Steve Stone, and it basically just said that he reviewed our application and all the associated drawings, and he was okay with us proceeding with it. He didn't object to it at all. And then I just think it's important to note that we did consider building this dock and boathouse where it would have been permitted, and but in order to do that, it was too shallow, so we would have to, unfortunately, apply for a dredging permit. So we just felt that going this route would be the least impact for the lake bed and the environment. So I guess I'd like to thank you for hearing our application, and both Dean Thompson of Madison Taylor Design and myself, we're here to answer any questions and or concerns you may have. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from any of the committee? Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to this application? Okay. Could I have a motion to approve and a seconder, please? Okay. Stuart, great. Okay, moved by Stuart, seconded by Greg. That the Committee of Adjustment hereby approves variance application A 2020-0036-H McDonald. Construct a new dock and request the variance of zoning bylaw 2006-125. Section 4.28.1I, boathouse production from shore, required 15 meters, proposed 22.2 meters. Section 4.28.2D, maximum dock length, required is 15 meters, proposed is 22.2 meters. Subject to the following conditions: that the projection and length of the dock with the boathouse be confirmed in the field by an Ontario land surveyor, and that the owner apply for and receive a building permit within 2 years of the decision of the Committee of Adjustment. Any further comments, questions? All in favor? And that is carried.
Thank you, committee. The application was approved and notice will be mailed shortly. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Mike. Thank you, everybody.
Way too much paper. Okay. Other business. Is there any other business?
If I may, I'd like to update the committee on just where we're at with some of the staffing changes that have been happening in the planning and building department. So as you know, Adam, with as many years as he gave us, decided to move on. I've had some communications with him. He's enjoying himself at Perth. And what we've tried to do is expedite his replacement, and we've held interviews. We were able to confirm replacement of our planning assistant. She'll be starting, her name is Teslin, and she'll be replacing Kara and starting February 1st. We have finished our interviews for the planner position, and we're just in the throes now of confirming their credentials and references. And we're hoping that sometime in February, we'll have that position filled. And similarly with the CBO position, we're hoping to have that filled later on this spring. We're not sure how that's all working out just yet on that position. The other thing too, it's now the new year, and the committee has the opportunity to sort of express its wants and desires as it relates to how we present applications to you and how we report on them. You'll notice that my reporting was rather brief this time around, and mainly because we were down 3 staff, and I was kind of torn in multiple directions. So I kept the application verbiage, at least the report verbiage, very brief. So I do know that when you look at Adam's reporting style, he would go into a fair bit of detail with regards to percentages and so on and so forth. If the committee is desirous of that type of approach to continue, then we'll certainly make sure that the new secretary treasurer follows along that. So you're welcome to chime in at this point, and we'll help facilitate that going forward.
The only thing I felt that I wanted was the calculation of the variance.
Okay, all right.
So, you know, you gave the 15 meters, you gave the 22.2 meters, but you made me do the arithmetic.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Too.
Yeah, good to know. We can do that.
Which is
for
easy
sure.
to do, except when you're trying to talk in front of a meeting.
Yes. Okay. So we'll add that back in.
Yeah, the thing that I found and what's included is, because I'm so new, it really, wherever it ends up is really the way it's going to be for me anyway. What I did find with the McDonald application, the last one we heard today, that there had been a variance application in 2019 in regards to part of the property.
Mm-hmm.
The variance it's actually, the variance made sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
but in the totality of the application, because you have a tear down cottage, it's obviously a very affluent piece of property.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to assume that there's already been a building permit application for some kind of a cottage to replace the tear down that was there.
Mm-hmm.
But all that came was a variance in regards to a boathouse.
Mm-hmm.
And the boathouse, you know, it had a bathroom in it, which would have required septic application, which I realized would have been in the building permit process.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's already been a permit application that either is pending or approved for a cottage, and then a supplemental application is made for a variance, in just looking at the property and
Mm-hmm.
looking at the whole package would make it a lot easier
Okay.
to be able to look at it in totality, as opposed to
Right.
just an isolate. Because I did go to the property, which was one heck of a workout, and it makes total sense when you get down into the property.
Right.
And you see the shoreline.
Mm-hmm.
It made complete sense to extend, and you know, it is a private bay. You can't see the neighbors. There was no issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
But where does it sit relative to anything else that the town has received for development on that property?
And that's fair. We'll where there's background information, we'll make sure it's in the reports.
But I also realized, you know, it is a huge issue of staffing and time and everything else, and so no issue with that part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, I want to thank Greg for what he said, because I had basically the same thing to say, but my question is to staff. Years and years ago, when I was involved with planning at Seguin, we did not do this type of an application when attempting to get into that place was almost impossible. I'm sure everybody who went in there understood.
Right.
There was a tree down all the way directly right across the entire road.
We're just talking about report format.
And it was not easy to get in. So.
All right, take care.
I'm just asking if maybe we could be, if we had something of that nature, and maybe it could wait to a month, that we could have an easier time to actually get into this place, because it was very, very difficult to get in. And it was I did a lot of walking as well, because it was not an easy road. And of course, at the time that I went in, the weather was not good at all.
And I would agree. Typically, if there are problems with access, we certainly, our island properties, for example, we won't actually process applications till we can get access to them. In this particular case, what we could have done is asked for the applicant, or in this case, the agent, to facilitate a skidoo ride. I know there was a skidoo trail in there that I saw when I walked it, but I hear you, that was a tough walk in. So I think what we can do in that regard is to be forewarned. I think what we'll do is, as staff, we'll go out and look at it for the sake of the committee, and then make arrangements if we can to have like a skidoo ride, or if it's a really long walk, an ATV ride in the summer. So
Thank you.
I mean, the bylaw does allow us to postpone until access to the property is available. So,
Right.
Yep.
okay. All right. Is there anything else?
Do we know how many we have coming up in February? How many applications?
yeah, I think we're either 2 or 3 right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
You better be
Always
Greg and
to
Karen
adjourn.
because Stuart's left.
Yeah, Stuart had a computer failure, so.
Oh,
Okay. Moved by Greg, seconded by Karen, that the Committee of Adjustment, Corporation of the Township segment hereby adjourns this meeting at 4:27 p.m. on Wednesday, January 13, 2021. The committee will hold its next hearing at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, February 10th, 2021, or at the call of the chair, unless the Secretary Treasurer has not received complete applications for committee consideration. All in favor? Thank you, everyone, for participating.
Thank you, committee.
Take care,
Thank you, Jim.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.